Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Liam's Happy Jukebox with the lovable girl myself, Liam. So, hola, bonjour, falcha, many welcomes to everybody to a brand new episode of Liam's Happy Jukebox, where in tonight's episode I am going to be talking about it's a Legends episode. So, when it's a Legends, it's usually a good artist or a good group. So tonight I'm talking about the one and only superstars, supergroup themselves, sold over 400 million, more 400 million record sales, have 9 UK number one singles, 17 number ones in total, a legion of fans, and probably staged the biggest comeback in music history. I am talking about ABBA. So before I get started, I have to say, remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want to get more fabulous content from Jukebox HQ. And also I have to apologise because I actually intended on doing this episode last week in Ireland, but due to other circumstances and also catching up with family and everything else, it had been postponed this week, but it was worth the wait, I promise you. So before I get underway with this episode, which is ABBA, the ABBA albums ranked. So as everyone knows, there have been 9 albums by ABBA. So ABBA this year will be celebrating not only a 50th anniversary, they're about to launch Voyage, the show, which is going to be debuting in London next month. The wait's almost over. I'm excited because myself and my lovely partner will be going to London in July for ABBA to see a very unique concert experience where it's bringing the digital and the physical rolled into one. So, how did this come about? Well, I decided on Facebook, on the ABBA Official Fans webpage on Facebook, I decided to do a quick poll where inviting fans to ask what was their favourite album. This was done in numerous rounds, so obviously started with 9 albums. This does not include gold, more gold, or any compilation albums, as they are compilation albums, so they have repeated songs. These are the unique albums from their career, from Ring Ring, Waterloo, ABBA, Arrival, ABBA the album, and then Voulez, Super Trooper, The Visitors, and Voyage, the most recent Voyage. All of them have been counted, all the points have been counted and verified. Each vote that every fan gave was worth 5 points. So it was done in several rounds. 9 became 6, 6 became 3, and then of course 3 became 2, 2 became 1. So I hope you really enjoy this episode because I'm going to be talking a little bit about the album itself and also some of my favourite songs from the album, and also a big shout out to all the fans who did participate in the poll. Thank you very much for your input, and I'm really glad you enjoyed participating and loved the comments. Some of the comments were really, really funny and also really, really interesting to see the different generations and how they have adapted to the ABBA-esque thing. So, are you ready for ABBA the albums ranked? Okay, so we will start. I actually have my notes and paper on the side of the table here beside me. Starting in at number 9 is one of their earliest works. It was the album that actually launched them really to mainstream popularity, and that is, now you may see a little picture of Napoleon. It is Waterloo from 1974. Now Waterloo is a good album. Now who can forget that Waterloo is an iconic song, probably one of the biggest Eurovision songs in history. But what surprised me was it didn't gain the momentum that I thought it would have done in the polls. It has some really, really good songs. One of my favourite songs from this album is not Waterloo actually, it's Hasta Mañana. Hasta Mañana is a very good song, which is a very beautiful ballad sung by Agneta and Frida. And really, it's like a really subtle complimentary tone, and I really enjoyed it. Some other fans really do enjoy Waterloo. It's like ABBA old school, essentially. And it only got very, very little points. I'm not going to reveal how many points exactly they got, but it unfortunately didn't take flight. I don't know how. But it was the least favorite album of the fans, but I know, as some fans have mentioned, choosing a favorite album is like choosing your favorite child, favorite thing, favorite possession. It's a hard one to choose. It is a hard one to choose. I actually have to agree. This was a hard poll, so I do apologize for making this tough. Now, I'm going to move on to the next one, which is number 8. Now, this only narrowly got ahead of Waterloo, and this would have been the album that started their career. This actually got them known before the big Eurovision breakthrough, and that is the wonderful Ring Ring. Now, if you can see on the cover, they don't have the actual, what you would say, the ABBA logo, At that point, it's like Bjorn, Benny, Agnetha, and Frida. Now, Frida is actually Anna Fried, so it was BBAA at the minute. So, but it was very, very popular. It was a popular album at its time. There's some really, really good songs, of course. Ring Ring, which was actually tried to be a Eurovision entry, but it didn't get the Swedish ticket at that point, because ABBA, as most people do know, were the first Swedish Eurovision winners. They were the first winners for Eurovision for Sweden, and also other great songs including Nina Pretty Ballerina, Another Town, Another Train, which is a personal favourite of mine, and of course the inaugural single, People Need Hope, People Need Loving, da, 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 which is really, really catchy, and that was like the start of the masterpiece, the mastership of Benny and Bjorn, who are, in my mind, like music icons. So this is your 8th favourite album of the lot. So now we move to number 7. Now again, 9, 8 and 7 were very, very close, but it was nearly like somehow a race to the bottom. But this particular album did take flight a little bit, but like again, it stalled. And this one has very, very big tracks like I Do, So Long, Mamma Mia is on this one as well, which is, of course, my anthem for life. That one, Mamma Mia. And I'm talking about this amazing album. Now, I have the old style cover, which is ABBA, the self-entitled album. Now, there's lots of good tracks here. We have Mamma Mia, we have Hey Hey Helen, SOS, Man in the Middle. There's a lot of good tracks there, and it's very, very popular with the fans. I'm just surprised it didn't go higher than it did, but it was a tough call, I think, for a lot of people. When you had to do in the first round, people had to pick their favourite 6, and then there's more, the higher 6 got higher, the 7, 8, and 9 got further down. But this is an amazing album. I felt this was a really good, solid album, which I thought they're nearly at the point they need to be. At that time, they were very, very forward thinking with their musical style. I love the instrumental, which is Intermezzo number 1, which was like a rock sort of like orchestral piece. The instrumentation is amazing. Everything was spot on in this album, and for me, a really, really good album. And also the lovely ballad I've Been Waiting for You is on this one as well. Okay, so that brings us from 9 to 6. So we're now at number 6, and number 6 is probably one of my favorite albums for all time, really. And I think it's up against a lot of titans as well, which will make up the top 3, 4 as well. And that is the current album, the one and only Voyage. Rewind back to 2nd of September 2021, ABBA announced they were going to be releasing a new album, new concert show, new singles, everything. Now this album has already spanned 4 singles, which would be I Still Have Faith in You, Don't Shut Me Down, Just a Notion, and Little Things. Also was released as another single because it was on Radio 2, was No Doubt About It. And I personally think that, given the circumstances, what's going on in the world at the moment, and my thoughts and prayers go to the people of Ukraine, is the song Ode to Freedom, which is not only a song for me, it's not a song for the people, but it's a song for the world. You know, I wish there, I wish someone would write an ode to freedom that we all can sing. And I think it's a beautiful album. If this is the last album that they release, I'm thinking, do you know what? You've released a masterpiece. I have enjoyed this album. There is another video that I've done from season 2, which I did a first listen of this album. I love every single track on this. Particularly my standouts are Ode to Freedom, Bumblebee, and When You Danced For Me are my favourites. So thanks to your votes, Voyage is number 6 and only narrowly missed the top 5. You're probably wondering what I mean. And just remember, this is still available online if you want to get your Jukebox edition, the vinyls, and also on and so forth as well. Okay, now we reach the top 5 and we come to ABBA, the album. Now, I love this cover. This is probably the most unique cover because it's all multicoloured and so on. This is actually my CD set from the ABBA, the album's box set. Now, this one was another hit for the group. This was released in 1977, so in time around of the ABBA the movie. Now, it has big songs like Thank You for the Music, Eagle, and one of my personal favourites from this album, and probably one of my only favourites from this album entirely, is Take a Chance on Me, you know, which is fantastic. I love how they sort of diversify in this album, and I think it was very diverse for many people. It's like but this album I found was, maybe many might agree or disagree, that it was experimental. It was a very experimental album, but I quite enjoyed it. But they had The Girl with the Golden Hair, which is a mini musical. I think there could have been, maybe they could have gone further, or it could have been used in the musical. Now, Benny and Bjorn have written musicals for Christina, Chess, so on, with some very, very great musical writers. And of course, the iconic musical, which is my favourite musical personally, Mamma Mia. So this album is your 5th place, and it sort of went consistent throughout the whole tournament as well. Now, that leaves us with only 4 albums left. Now, just missing out, and I mean literally just missed out on the top 3, is the 1979 album, which I considered quite disco-based. It's their Disco-Tastic Voulez album. Now, I love the lightsaber sort of, pyramid, which I thought the pyramid sort of is ironic because of the Polar Records, which is where ABBA were assigned to. And I love, obviously, the cover of this. There are so many great songs in this album. You have As Good As New is one of my favourite ever ABBA songs, which I am surprised it wasn't released as a mainstream single. Does Your Mother Know Voulez-Vous? Angel Eyes is also a good one, and Kisses of Fire. There is so many good songs, and of course the iconic Chiquitita, which, can I just say, the lyric video that was released about a month ago was beautiful. Because I think Chiquitita is a beautiful song, and actually the lighting, the projections that were used in that for the lyric video were sublime and very, very beautiful. And also ABBA have raised over 4 million, I think it's 4.5 million euros in euros, so about £5 million to UNICEF because all the proceeds that went from Chiquitita go straight to UNICEF. It doesn't go to them. And it's the same with Little Things. Little Things is another song which they've released as well, Christmas song, which goes straight to UNICEF. So they have raised a lot of money for UNICEF, and they actually opened the UNICEF concert as well. So this album is outstanding. Sadly, it didn't make our top 3, but we have a very iconic top 3 as well to come up. Okay, just remember that, everybody, just before I announce the top 3, yours truly is going to be doing a step-a-thon, which obviously I talk a lot about ABBA, but I also talk about another favourite group of mine, which is Steps. Steps are also reaching a milestone with 25 years in music. In June, on the 4th of June, I'm going to be doing a step-a-thon. Now, how is this going to work? What I'm going to do is, I'm literally going to be doing this live on Instagram Live, where I'm going to be doing every single step song from every single era dancing. Basically, I'm dancing for charity. I'm raising money for two charities, which would be N NICCHS, which is Northern Ireland Chest, Heart and Stroke, and NI Hospice. Two very worthy charities which are very close to my heart, and I'm trying to raise some money to give to them in time for the summer. Now, originally, because of obviously other commitments, I had to postpone it to June, but now I'm definitely going ahead with it in the 4th of June. I hope you can join me, watch me, and remember, in the description below I will have my donation page, so do not hesitate to donate to go to two very worthy causes. So without any further ado, I'm going to move on to our top 3. Now, our 3rd place had a very strong start in the competition, but as I say, it slowed down because there's two very, very other big albums that sort of took prominence later on. In 3rd place is the title song. Is one of my favourite ever ABBA songs ever, and I think and I love Frida's vocals on this, I think, and Agnetta's harmonies. This whole electric feel for the 1980s, I think, is amazing. I cannot believe this album's over 40 years old. That is something I cannot get my head around. Same with Voyage, I can't believe Voyage even happened, that sort of thing. So our 3rd place, as voted by the fans, is the one and only Super Trooper. Super Trooper, as you can see, the beams and then the 4 of them sitting. Whoops, butterfingers. So 4 of them standing on a podium with the lights shining on them. Spotlights are going to find me. Another great album with a great set of songs. You have The Way Old Friends Do, Our Last Summer, Lay All Your Love on Me, On and On and On, Andante Andante, Super Trooper. All of them are outstanding tracks. As I said, if I were a fan, I would have great difficulty choosing which album would be at the top. So that leaves only 2 albums left, everybody. So that leaves 2 albums. We have on one side Arrival from 1976, and then The Visitors, 1981. Now, one album started off very slowly, but in round 2 took off. But there was one album that really, really got the fans from start to finish. When I was younger, I didn't understand why this album was so good, but now at 30, almost 31 years of age, I do understand why this is so good. So I'm going to announce the runner-up first before I announce the winner. So the runner-up of ABBA Albums Round, as decided by the official ABBA fans, is the breakthrough album, Arrival. Now, ABBA, this is the album that I consider as the album that gave ABBA their international breakthrough. This album was #1 in so many countries. It sold out very quickly. It has their biggest hit, which is Dancing Queen, which was their only #1 in the US. Fantastic. One of my other personal favourites, Knowing Me, Knowing You, and has When I Kiss the Teacher. It has That's Me. Let me see, I'm just trying to see because it's quite small. Oh, and the hilarious but brilliant Money, Money, Money. As I said again, I'll say it once, say again, Bjorn and Benny are musical geniuses. They know how to pick their market. Their songs, I have always felt, tell a story. Each song has a unique feel, unique story. It's like with Voyage, it tells the story of ABBA now, what has happened from then till now. That's why I Still Have Faith in You resonates so well with me, because it sort of tells their tragic story from before, when they went on hiatus, when they broke up the first time, because they actually technically did not break up. They were on hiatus, on a permanent long-term hiatus, and then came back for this album, which was actually recorded only in 2017, between 2017 and 2019. I hope I got that right. And there are a lot of things there that is good. Arrival is an amazing album, and in the closer, which is the instrumentational Arrival, is fantastic. So without further ado, the #1 album as chosen by the fans is the brilliant, the vulnerable, the great story, masterpiece that is The Visitors. The Visitors, as I mentioned earlier, when I was younger, when I first started listening to all the albums, The Visitors didn't really appeal to me. As I don't know whether it was the songs or whether it was the lyrics or maybe simply because I didn't understand. But fast forward 10, 12 years later, I understand the feeling, the pain that goes behind all these songs. This is when ABBA were at their lowest, but musically at their highest. Personally at their lowest, but musically at their highest. There was like Head Over Heels, which was very, very funny. You have When All Said and Done as well. When All Said and Done. One of my favourite tracks on this is Soldiers. Soldiers is a really good, really, really... I was like, I never known ABBA to go down the possible political path, but at that time that would have been regarded maybe possibly political. But I thought it was a really, really good song, and it has a really good, strong, hard beat as well. I love Slipping Through My Fingers, Angel Like an Angel Passes Through My Room. And then when the deluxe version was released, I got to hear other songs like Should I Laugh or Cry is, oh my God, it had me, give me goosebumps. Cassandra as well. It's like nearly telling the story as if you're going through a house, from start to finish over a period of 24 hours. So there you have it. So The Visitors was the runaway first place from the very beginning of this mini tournament, and realistically a fantastic set of albums. ABBA forever will always be one of the greats, one of the great groups musically. And to me, like, I grew up listening to ABBA thanks to my family. My family started introducing me to ABBA. Steps actually introduced me to ABBA as well. So listening to Steps got me listening to ABBA. It's like the connections were made. And I would encourage anyone, young and old, to listen to ABBA. And if you haven't, I know from the younger generations, thanks to Mamma Mia, the Mamma Mia films, obviously people know who ABBA are. And ABBA, also to have the success that they have at this time, amazing. And to ABBA, for hashtag ABBA50, hashtag ABBA fans, I would want, like, ABBA was thank us, I want to thank them because they give us, for me, given me a new sense of life. Is the brilliance of their music. It's just like, it makes me smile, it makes me happy. Even in the sad songs, it makes me feel different emotions. It's the realism that they bring to each and every song that touches so many fans' hearts. And I wish every success for the show in London at the end of next month. And I'm very excited to be seeing the show in July as well. I cannot believe I'm going to be seeing or watching a show by ABBA. Whoa, it's very, very exciting. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there for this evening. So it will be Slán Abhaile, Hasta luego, bonsoir, goodbye, so long, farewell. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time where we're doing my mid-season finale, which is all going to be about Steps and Steps at 25. History retold, the Steps story. It's going to be literally a Steps homage to Steps reaching 25 years. So without any further ado, hope you all have a good weekend. Be happy, healthy and safe. Mwah. See you soon. This is Liam. Over and out. Bye.